Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome if that didn't get recorded. Thanks, Mercury retrograde. This is going to be a next 48 reading for all signs. I am currently uploading a weekly prediction that I did. If you get a chance to watch it, please do. It's a little long, but hopefully a little more informative. Now, today being the 18th, this will be going to the 20th, which is another portal of its own. That would be 10-20-2020. And within that we have the number 7, so it's probably a day of lessons learned and wisdom gained and maybe a little bit of supernatural spirituality, synchronizations and things like that. A lot of interesting noises going on. I think there might be mousies and rabbits getting into mischief, which can also be a good totem to look into. There might be the energy of mice and rats and rodents typically is about the returning of things that were lost, people that were lost, and thievery also, taking things, and also needing to listen to that little voice of inner guidance, of intuition, much more so than the instincts. And rabbits in particular, too, can have to do with family, with kind of with shadow work because they often live in burrows and things like that. And same with mice also. It's just so very weird. You might also kind of have an energy of lurking. There might be cats in here too, I don't know. But you might have the energy of something lurking around you, which is not unusual for the Scorpio energy. You might find more animal beings in your presence too, or it could be the lurking of people. There might be things going on in your presence that you often would not see, like if you see a mouse or a rat or a rabbit or a fox or a wild animal of some kind that you don't typically see, an owl maybe, it is very likely that spirit is showing you that there are things being revealed that we typically would not see, either because we're too distracted by our own internal monologue. I just saw 222 on the timer. Or because we are distracted, or we're just not paying attention, right? Now, I already pulled some cards. I'm going to leave the lengthier stuff for the week-long reading that I did. But what we have here, Ten of Pentacles. So definitely some money stuff over the week. But this card can also, it has a lot to do with contracts, consent, commitment, and legacies. So there's probably some family stuff coming up in there. And definitely father stuff, but mother-father wounds tend to go together. And interestingly enough, in the week-long reading, we had the pause card come up in reverse, as in dog pause, and I'm seeing in this card two dogs. Look at that. So definitely some energy of friendship and loyalty, but also remember, like dogs can go either way, and really I'm feeling called to that energy of like a dog behaves in the way that you treat it. A kick dog will often get aggressive, they get fearful, fear aggressive, and a dog that has been treated like a good dog will often act like a good dog and be very kind and polite. So maybe consider, who are you surrounding yourself with, and have you been allowing yourself to become a kick dog, or are you feeling like a good dog, good girl, good boy, like you know and consider what friendships you have in your life. With the homophone card, we have, interestingly enough, ring in reverse. And I'm feeling really called also to the other side of this, which is like to ring out something, but it's upside down. And so it's almost like you're trying to squeeze out what you can, you're trying to squeeze out the sustenance, but you can't quite get there because it's upside down. So it's like gravity keeps sucking it back in to the cloth. So you can't get what you need from it. So it could be that you're feeling stuck in a sticky situation of sorts, or stuck in the funhouse mirrors. And interesting, I mean, ring in reverse, and this is, you know, that's a, it more speaks to me as costume jewelry, but a lot of times any ring is symbolic of relationships, and we are seeing an increased wave of quarantine relationships and situationships that are falling apart now. And I think I had that in some earlier readings too, that might be coming up. And the shamanic cards, look at that, looky looky. We have The Death card, which says transmigration. And I'm not surprised with that because a lot of times with the endings of commitments, relationships, connections of that nature, friendships, things like that, it often does. We transform, and this card for me is very much about butterfly moments and making the choice to recognize that we are the universe. I mean, if you look, she's got stars all in her, right? We are the universe, and this also fits with the theme for the week of um, infiniteness and feminine energy, looking at how are we flowing in the energy of receptivity versus are we being combative, or are we making everything all about money and contracts and things like that. I think we're definitely going to have a review of, especially with these two. And then the death card, we've got, a review of the commitments that we've made, past, present, and potentially in the future. Now, and also on the bottom of those decks, in the homophones, we have whole in reverse, which is interesting as a donut, but the word whole as in to be whole, and it's in reverse. So next 48 hours, we may feel either over full, like too whole, or, well, not too whole. I don't know that you can feel too whole. I don't know if that makes sense. It feels like more like too much of a whole thing. Or we might feel like we are incomplete in some way. And then on the bottom of the shaman deck, look at that. And we have birth renewal. And the card that came out was death transmigration, right? Moving to the next layer, timeline shifting. And then the last card, oh wait, sorry, on the bottom of the Rider's Waite deck, we have the King of Pentacles. So another pentacle. And I noticed that on the top of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. I'm just curious. Heart of the matter. Oh, interesting. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So king and queen in there. So shadow work is masculinity. In the heart of the matter is toxic femininity. And the topic of the day is new love. Interesting. So, or the topic of the next 48 hours is well, not just love but emotions. Like, we're really reviewing that, and that fits in with some of the other cards that we have. Now we have, and I haven't seen this card in my Divine Circus deck yet. I like it. It says go fish. And what this feels like to me is some more of that Neptune and Pisces energy, which is currently retrograde right now. And I am seeing a fair amount of purple energy, which can often be connected with both the third eye and the inner ear chakras. So there could be. I'm just going to say it's a good time to listen and observe things, especially from a point of your inner being and your inner intuition. It's a good time to be in observer mode. Also, she really looks like I would put her in the category of like good Scorpio energy also. Now, I'm definitely feeling the relation to Pisces. There's some red in there too, some root chakra stuff, green and blue, so crown and or sorry, not crown. I'm seeing a lot of pink around her crown though, which is crown chakra stuff, and then kind of that. It's more that feminine energy. In fact, now that I think about it, we have two cards that are specifically feminine, and between the bottom cards too, we have two that are specifically masculine, two that have children in them. Some interesting themes that we have going on there. I think there might maybe it's a possum or something. It's so weird. I'm not really worried about it. Like wild creatures don't really worry me too much. It's just very interesting that it's decided to come into the garage while I'm doing a reading, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. But it definitely feels like the energy of there are things going on around us that we are aware of, probably intuitively, but may not be able to see. And there may be, and there's definitely energy of like trickster beings that was in the longer reading. So I'm gonna check that out. Now this card is number 9. Interesting hermit card energy. Let's see what number 9 has in store for us. I haven't read this one yet, so 9. Go fish. Sometimes what you want is right in front of your nose, just waiting to be recognized. At other times, when you want what you want is more like a treasure hidden within the depths of your oceanic being. You have to go diving deep to find what you desire. What you want most, need, desire, and crave has been bubbling up from within you. It is rising up from the depths of you now. It's time for you to discover an inner treasure. It's time to go fish. Hmm. Something that really calls me back to also to the movie Big Fish, which is very cyclical. Like it leads you know, where you started is where you end up, and you find yourself in each of the interesting characters. You are an ocean of consciousness, deep and vast, and filled with so much creativity, energy, and healing power. Did you know this about yourself? Even if you did, you are about to discover that there is more to you than you realize. Within those hidden depths, there is a magnificent, undiscovered magic which wants to come alive in your world. There's something truly wonderful wanting to capture your attention. It wants to be caught, so much so it's practically jumping out of your inner ocean, like a flying fish wanting your attention and wanting your attention and a place in your world. The Oracle of Go Fish says that there are powers, abilities, gifts, and new ways of being surging up from your unconscious mind. You are bringing forth more of who you are, but it is the you that you haven't really known existed before. So at times it's going to be surprising, exciting, or even a little uncomfortable as you get used to the extra energy stirred up from within. If you or something in your life has been lacking in energy, becoming stuck or blocked in some way, then this oracle indicates the new creative energy is becoming available to you and is going to get things moving in the right direction. How can you go fish? Art, dance, music, meditation, being in or near water, going to an aquarium, expressing yourself creatively in any way will help you catch the fish from your inner ocean that will feed your body, mind, and soul with all you need to become the gloriously vibrant, boldly colorful being that you are destined to be. I like that. I like that card. And what I get a sense of from that, especially with how these are lined up, I'm actually going to put them a little bit here. So, I mean, it feels like for all of us in some way, we are looking at the contracts that we have either forced ourselves into or have felt forced into with others. The old business, things like that, maybe things that we made commitments to in the past that no longer serve us now, or things that we do need to make commitments for now that really will serve us and others. And I want to say really it's an emphasis on the commitments we make to ourselves, because those are much more important than any commitments that we make to anyone else. And really, if we cannot keep a commitment to ourselves, we cannot keep a commitment to anybody else either. um and definitely, especially the next 48 hours, kind of that energy, that, like, I want to say breakup energy, and like breaking up of contracts. And I want to say too that if any, like, if you've been feeling some of this fight me energy, but it's been leading towards like legal type stuff, it's likely that that's not going to go anywhere this week. Or if you've been looking to make a big life change or big move, or you've been expecting like a really super big change, it's in the works, but it's not a good time to do it. And Mercury retrograde is never a good time to do big stuff like that, anyways. But there are things happening. There are things migrating in the ethers. So don't be disheartened if you feel stuck right now. This card also kind of reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune card, also. And then with the Go Fish, it's like, this is a really good time to focus on things that you find fun and passionate, even if it feels like everything is falling apart and you cannot focus on what brings you joy. It's actually even more important to. And I have the sense that if you don't, things are only going to get worse, and then you're going to feel more one foot in, one foot out than you were in the first place. Which can, some of that Neptune and Pisces energy can have that effect. And with all this Scorpio energy too, which has its own dualities, you're probably going to feel like that anyways. So why not enjoy the juggling while you're at it? Why not enjoy the circus? I mean, if you're going to be at the carnival anyways, right? All right, if you have any specific questions, I welcome them in the comments below. And I'm a little bit backed up in my email readings, but I'm happy to take on personal readings. I do invite donation or tribute only. And, as usual, thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, and hopefully enjoying the show.